right, JD11 Network here with Cali Strong, here at Cali Strong with my guy GRANDVIEW. Great to meet you, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Catch up with you a little bit. I know you came down from LA. How was the drive out here?
It's super easy, like 2 hours, no traffic, and yeah, it's incredibly nice day. So we really timed this perfectly. So
Yeah.
super stoked to be here, man.
Oh, stoked to have you, man. What you think of this store?
I was blown away. Not just like I got the whole tour with just the merchandise and the inventory, and just top to bottom how everything's made in house. And there's always like a connective tissue with everything. But then what really blew me away was there's 3 different sporting things that you can do here with it, which is football, basketball, and then cornhole. Yeah. I didn't like if you make them on the first try, you actually get merchandise, which is like, to me, I've never seen a store do that.
Yeah.
So just a massive shout out to such a unique experience being here.
No, super dope, super dope.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in what you got going on, man. And I know in about a week, next Friday, you're dropping a new single called The Autograph.
Yeah, shout out my entire team for really helping me piece this together. So I dropped my debut mixtape, Time Is On Our Side, and dropping February 2nd this year. So I took a couple months in between because it was a 14-track mixtape. It was a lot. So this is my first official release post that. The fans have been really nice and they've been really patient. So I'm really excited that they can finally hear this. And kind of the story behind it is after my mixtape, we made 100 CDs of Time Is On Our Side. And then I signed 100 of them. And then I actually, for free, sent them out to all my fans. So we actually then received, I wrote like a letter. So they received the CDs. And then when they read the letter, I actually asked them to post a video of them opening the CD or having the CD online. And we made a music video out of it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
How was the process with the music video?
It was super sick. So shout out my videographers, V-Star and Bernard. They're incredible. What I did also is I ordered 100 stickers. So that had my name, signature. So it was like name, signature, date. And then we went around LA and we put up the stickers and I signed my name kind of all around different parts of LA to represent the autograph. So we were in Venice, Santa Monica, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, kind of where I'm from. So yeah, everything kind of connects, and is just trying to keep it very focused.
When you were creating your autograph, was it a tough process? Is it just a scribble? What is your autograph?
No, I want to give a big shout out to my DJ and producer, Ionius. He completely took charge of that. He's very talented artistically, so he helped me really craft that.
Wow.
And then I was just, over and over again, it kind of was just, training it, and now it's a lot better than it was. But shout out, he's here today, DJ and producer Ionius, total credit to him.
Yeah. So when you're doing 100 autographs, is it all at once? I mean, are you about to give yourself carpal tunnel? Or how
I'll make you guys laugh. So not the carpal tunnel, but it's my first time kind of signing stuff. So I've just kind of really gotten this really small, and I call them Team GRANDVIEW. They're the best fan base, I think, at their size, truly interactive, on every single way. So I've never really done my autographs for stuff. So we get the CDs, we sign them all. And I signed the plastic instead of the thing. So then they receive these CDs and they're like, damn, well, I can't open it and listen to the CD because the plastic is still on it. So lesson learned there, that when you do sign your autograph, don't sign the plastic, sign the physical thing.
You live and you learn.
You live and you learn. It's a good lesson to learn. I'm happy that I learned it now when it's only 100 instead of 10,000.
Yeah, no, it's going to get to 10,000 very soon.
Yeah, thank you.
What is your vision, right? I mean, I listened to a lot of your music on the way here. Very talented. You got a good team behind you. So what's the vision, right? I mean, 100 autographs right now. When are you going to be big enough to have 10,000 autographs?
Yeah, I think what we're focused on is we had a really great body of work that came out with Time Is On Our Side. And for me, it's okay, you can make one thing that a small, it's not super small, but a small community really loves. It's a great launching board. I think if you deliver on 3 things in a row, 3 projects, each one growing a little bit more, I think that's when you truly reach that point where you can truly have a very successful and lucrative career. So I'm on project number 2 right now. So my goal, I'm gonna release 6 singles this summer. I really hope that they really gain some traction. We're focused on just kind of saturating the summer, then dropping the project, I always said, hoping November, December. I think by the end of Better With Time, once that full cycle comes out, I'll be able to really go on a tour. I wouldn't say it's an arena tour, but I think I'll be able to hit up some great cities.
That'd be awesome. And I know that you hit up Sacramento recently. You performed with Devin the Dude.
Yeah.
Who's an OG. I mean, he's been in the game for decades.
Yeah.
Longer than I've been alive. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And I'm sure, so when you performed there, I know it was sold out. Was a lot of older dudes that were in attendance, or what was the audience looking like?
Yeah, no, I would say it's definitely an older audience.
Yeah.
But it was just people that loved hip hop. Mm-hmm. And I pride myself on, I'm not some lyrical spiritual rapper, but I do focus on the lyrics, but I make songs that I think are interesting as well. Yeah. But I think I was able to kind of win their approval and attention because, you know, I rap a cappella to show that I'm like, you know, that I can actually write. My songs do have some meaning behind it, but I was truly just blown away with the experience. The crowd was incredible. Sacramento, my DJ's from there, so it was a hometown show for him. Devin is, when you see someone like that is a master, that has been doing it, like, you know, it's like when, you know, Kobe used to watch Jordan do, you know, you watch game film, like seeing the way that he's able to emphasize every single syllable and hit every single pocket is just like that. That's one of the best experiences for me, seeing him live. Besides the performance, is like seeing a true professional in their craft is like, you know, I live for that to try and get better.
That's awesome. Okay, so who are some artists that you've studied and that have inspired you on your journey?
Yeah, so there's so many different like buckets of it. I would put, you know, Kendrick growing up in LA was massive for me. You know, Section 80 when I was in high school, Good Kid, Mad City. Kendrick, Cole, Logic. I'm obsessed with Brockhampton. Nice. I love Nas, Common, Big L, Wu-Tang, like kind of like that. Also Kanye, I know it's tough to say now, but Kanye was a massive one. But you take bits and pieces, you know, whether it's Logic for his flow, whether it's Kendrick for the lyricism, it's Cole for the feeling, Brockhampton for the interesting instrumentation and just how the variety of sounds that you can have in a song. Then you kind of insert your own voice in there, and I think you see yourself in the people that you idolize so much. So I would say I also love Isaiah Rashad, Saba. There's so many people.
Yeah.
I can say off the top of my head.
This is a tough question, but if you had to only choose one collaboration to feature on one of your songs, who would you choose? It would just have to be one guy, though.
Damn.
It's a tough one.
It's a super tough one. I think I would have to go Logic, probably.
That'd be sick.
I would have to, just because like he means so much to me. I found him in 2011 with the day Young Sinatra dropped. So I've been a Rat Pack fan since I was literally like 15. So he means a lot. I would love to go bar for bar with Kendrick. He would kill me, but it'd be so sick for him to body me like that. I would try my hardest, but it'd be really tough to keep up.
And Kendrick, I mean, he's always relevant. He's one of the greatest ever. But right now, you know, what do you think of all this beef? Is it?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like you're the type of guy that really is entertained by that, because it's, you know,
yeah,
it's not for everybody. It's a little personal.
Yeah, I think it was amazing for just the culture of hip hop, for the two titans to like come and just release a bunch of music. So that's great.
Yeah.
I think I'm happy that violence wasn't inserted into it.
There you go.
I think Kendrick totally won.
Yeah.
I think Meet the Grams and Not Like Us was one of the craziest 1-2 punches since Kobe and Shaq I've ever seen in any medium, whether it's sports and entertainment. I think Family Matters was a good track, but I think Kendrick won. And right now it's so funny. So he's doing this event in LA at the Forum I think it's next Wednesday.
Oh, really?
And me and my friends tried to go, but we were 69,000 in line for the queue. It was ridiculous. Like, we didn't get tickets, obviously. But, yeah, I think Kendrick soundly won.
Yeah.
And it's good for hip-hop. Not like, the violence aside, having Kendrick give so much music to the masses is always a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember back in the day, right, when Drake dropped back-to-back on Meek Mill, right? And then now he's kind of getting a taste of his own medicine in a way. So, I don't know. It is a little personal, but the song it's one of the best songs I've heard in a long time.
I mean, like, for any of the bystanders in there, the kids or like the wife and stuff, obviously that's tough.
Yeah.
But, you know, it did get a little personal.
Yeah, but it brings in clicks, right? So I'm sure all the blogs and
they loved it.
They love it.
I mean, I think the entire market of hip hop, I think country was taking a little bit of the market share away, and I think they swooped in and just took some of it back.
And especially, I mean, we're in the podcast age, which is just, it's crazy. As we're getting older, like, we're seeing, you know, just new ages, right? We're really in the podcast age. Here we are doing a podcast, and I know a bunch of the big time podcasts. I mean, it's a great talking point. But another great talking point is what you do. You start up this new series on TikTok called Lunch Money, where you buy people lunch after listening to your new music.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Whose idea was that, and how did they come to fruition?
Yeah, I'm trying to think the exact idea was like, so there's like two versions of Lunch Money. The first one that we're talking about is, I think honestly, Mr. Beast just kind of inspired me.
Oh,
because like he's so successful. Just like giving away stuff is like everyone. So one, it's like I want people to listen to my music, and it's like it's a great tagline on social media. I buy this person lunch if they listen to my money, because who doesn't like free lunch?
That's awesome.
You know, and then also the people are more excited to listen to my song because they're gonna get something at the end, and like it's dope to also put yourself out there and get real feedback from people. So I do the in-person one on the Venice Boardwalk, which is just like, those are characters.
Yeah.
So like there's some where I roll up to someone and like it's, maybe someone that's like, hi. And then I'm just like, oh, why did I choose this person? And then like, this isn't the best reaction. Never any negative ones, but they're just like not that enthusiastic. But then I meet the people that are just down to listen and they love it. And like, it makes my day so amazing. And then I also do this version, I do Lunch Money Online, where it's, I have all Team GRANDVIEW, like my fans, supporters, actually not fans, supporters. I'm like, hey, upload clips of you playing any video game and use one of my songs. I choose which song it is on TikTok. If you use my sound on your video, I'm going to choose 4 winners and I choose 4 people and I send them lunch.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, just creating this community, and then they tell their friends about, and then like people are, it's a video game age as much as the podcast age too. So I'm trying just to like give back to this community that's allowing me to have a great life through music.
That's awesome, man. And that's how you're going to build real, genuine fans as well. People forget what you say to them, they forget what you do for them, but they never forget the way you make them feel. And I'm sure the feeling, because you're obviously blindsiding the people, they don't know initially, right? They're getting the lunch, and that must make them feel pretty good. Like, no way, I'm getting a free lunch.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What's the feedback been like? Have you now built like a lot of supporters from those interactions?
Yeah, I would say like it's not something that like defines the fan base. It's something that, in the last, from like November to now, I gained like 20K followers on TikTok. Yeah. And like what I do is I DM every single person that follows me.
Oh, that's awesome.
I comment I will respond to any DM. I will reply to any single comment. And what that has done is like these people support me through everything. Like I get messages once a day from people that I interacted with in March, and they're just like, I just want to let you know like I'm still here and I'm so fucking proud of you.
Dude, that's
and awesome. It's crazy because like I don't like it just because I feel like a friend to them. So when they see me succeed, they're not like, oh, this artist that I follow succeed. They're like, damn, like I'm fucking like that's my guy. And that's what I want that interaction to feel like, because the reason I call it Team GRANDVIEW is because like when the Lakers win, you're not like, oh, I'm stoked the Lakers won. What do you say? You're like, we won, we lost. So that's the feeling that I'm trying to bring with Team GRANDVIEW.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
What is the you can think of the top of your head, the coolest fan experience, fan interaction we've ever had?
I've gotten some really good ones lately, actually. I got this really long one. It's also those people that just like out of nowhere will send me just the most heartfelt long message about how I should never give up and that they have my back and that like I've helped them through something, like a really hard time in their life. That to me is a great one. I had a fan recently tell me that like they listened to Time Is On Our Side, and they said it was as good as Good Kid, Mad City, which is just not true. I just want everyone to know, like, I'm not there yet, but that was one of my favorite ones, and I was like, okay, like, you guys are gassing me up a little too hard. It's a good project, but it's not that. So that was one personally where I was like, okay, like, that's sick. But it's the really long ones where people are just telling me that, like, they're in my corner, and they don't need to say that, but they're just like, they have my back. That's what I would say are my favorite ones.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and so TikTok has become such a powerful app, right? I mean, I think Instagram is the cream of the crop, but TikTok, that's where you interact with your fans the most, you would say.
Mm-hmm. 110%. That's like where I focus all my time pretty much right now.
Does it freak you out at all that there's been rumblings for like 5 years that they're going to shut it down, but now it seems like it might happen for real? Or what does that mean to you?
I mean, my opinion on it is that I think it's too lucrative. I think they're going to divest. I think they have to. They're going to leave so much money on the table if the biggest market is gone. But like I could totally be wrong, and I'm gonna utilize the algorithm as much as I can before it's gone, and hopefully that translates to Spotify, and I can just focus on YouTube or something.
Yeah. Would you love to see TikTok or any social media really have a feature? Because on TikTok, right, they have that link that goes straight to your Instagram or straight to your YouTube. Would you like to see it go straight to a Spotify or straight to Apple?
Yeah, I think. Right? I think I think they're working on that. And they should, just because music and TikTok is it's completely, I don't know. It's so correlated and so ingratiated in what they both do. So yeah, I think it's like, because that's the number one thing is like when I DM these people, what I ask them, I'm like, hey, thank you so much for joining the team. Will you please go follow my Spotify and rate my song 1 through 10? Oh, that's awesome. Because like, you know what I mean? Like I want to take them off TikTok. I view it as like a marketing funnel, where I'm bringing people in, and then, there's funnels to what I really want, which is people to listen to my music. I would say, so yeah.
talked a lot about music in this interview, right? I want to talk a little bit about sports because you seem like you're somewhat of a sports fan. You reference Kobe and Shaq. And
Yeah.
right? So obviously, LA sports fan, right?
Big LA sports fan. My family's all from New York, so they're big Yankees.
Me too.
Knicks, really.
Yeah, all from the Queens.
I'm from Queens. I was born in Bayside.
Very cool.
What about you?
Well, I'm obviously from LA, but my whole family is from New York, and I lived in New York. I lived in Long Island, but I'm a Syosset.
Yeah, 100%. We live in Glen Cove.
It's great.
Yeah, it's right. It's close to Syosset. Close to us.
Yeah, I mean, I love living in San Diego, but being on East Coast, I mean, at least having East Coast blood, they keep it so much realer here.
Yeah.
It's like in Southern California especially, right? Like the superficial shit is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's wild.
People, what do they say? People like pretty lies instead of the ugly truth. In New York, it's primarily just ugly truth.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Real. What are your thoughts on you're in LA, right? Have you seen a lot of just fake shit?
Yeah. In the music industry, no, because I think I keep my team pretty close, and there's like interactions of people that like ghost or XYZ, but for the most part, the people that I maintain relationships are really great. But to the point that you're saying, it's all very transactional.
Yeah.
I try really hard not to make that, like if I work with someone, if I have someone come on my podcast, if I meet someone, like I really want to maintain that relationship in a really healthy way. But it's like, it's everywhere. I see it all. Yeah, I do see it.
But also with you, I mean, you get out what you put out, so maybe you don't attract it as much.
Yeah.
Very genuine down.
100%. Yeah, I think, I try and stand on business as much as I can. If I say that I'm going to do something for someone, I try to maintain it. But so back to sports. Sorry, I totally threw you for a loop with that. No, yeah, I'm a massive LA sports fan.
Okay.
With everything.
So what are your thoughts on the Lakers and with LeBron, right? I mean, there are some Laker fans that want to get rid of LeBron without know why. I'm like,
no,
obviously not working out really too much, right? We're not winning too much. I mean, a lot of people take that 2020 season for granted because of the bubble, but
I count it as a championship. Yeah. I don't know. I think if we didn't have LeBron, we wouldn't be relevant. I think also we ran into the Nuggets 2 years in a row. Like they made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. I think we should have made a move at the deadline. I think it shows with the Mavericks made moves, PJ Washington, I believe, and then also the other center that they have. And that's one of the reasons why they're in the finals is like you kind of like evaluate what you have in front of you and then make a move. I think we've been holding on to some of our firsts a little bit, but I'm really upset about this, coaching hire dilemma that is just plaguing us and making us look like fools in the media with like, the Dan Hurley, and then just he goes back, renegotiates his deal.
Yeah.
And, I love JJ Redick as a personality, and yeah, he could totally be amazing, but like, the irony of us being on a podcast, I mean, saying this, but like a podcaster being the head coach is crazy. But like right now, I don't know. I think management, this is not my take. This is from Nick Wright, first things first. But I think management.
You're a real sports fan. Okay. I
think management, I'm a realist. I live for this stuff. I think management is really good at keeping their jobs instead of doing their jobs.
Wow.
That might be bold. I'm sorry, guys. So like
but that's something Nick Wright would say.
Yeah, I love Nick Wright, man. I watch First Things First, Colin Cowherd every single day.
Yeah.
When I'm writing or like whatever my like editing, like it's my thing.
Nick Wright is similar to, he interacts with his fans. So I'm a big fan of Nick Wright too.
He's amazing.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day when I lived in LA, I would go to like almost every single Clipper game, and the tickets were so fucking cheap for the Clippers.
Makes sense.
Lakers not so much. But I remember I'd buy the cheapest ones at the top, and then because it's the Clippers, there's plenty of open seats, and go all the way down to the bottom. And I remember I met Nick Wright there, and like we were just talking, and he gave me his information, and
wow,
yeah, he's a really nice guy. And then I remember I'd see him a couple other times. What he would do, he'd post on Twitter like, at halftime of the Clipper game, I'm gonna be by this restaurant in the Staples Center, meet me there. And he would have some fans line up and talk to them. So that's
so sick.
Something that you do as well.
Yeah, 100%.
The fans and make them feel special.
100%.
A lot of times when it comes to people with, that are celebrities or just with the status, people hold them to this pedestal. And at the end of the day, we're all just fucking humans, man.
100%, yeah.
I would never forget when I was in college and I was just talking about LeBron, looking at him like he is a god, and to an extent he is, right? But he is. And I would never forget my professor called me out and said he takes shits just like both of us.
Sure.
Very right.
100%. It makes sense. Honestly, it's a great way of putting it. I think sometimes, especially with social media, is these people really get put on a pedestal, and then you're kind of fed this information that they're perfect, and then you meet them and they're just humans.
Yeah, we all go through shit.
Yeah, 100%.
So in some of your music, have you talked about some of your past hardships, traumas, or whatever? Is that you open up in that in your music ever?
Yeah, I think it's a big part of, like, you know, when I was a kid, I was also, I forgot to say this person, Kid Cudi, was a massive influence on me when I was younger, and I think his ability to be vulnerable and speak on these themes that made people feel like they were not alone, that other humans kind of had this normal feeling of loneliness or just like not belonging. So yeah, you know, I have songs like Deja Vu where I talk about substance abuse. I have, you know, same with Less Than You. Then even like the outros to my mixtapes, they're called like Sincerely You, and it's always the year, and I just wrap up the year in kind of a tight bow at the end of my albums. I talk about that a lot. Yeah, I think throughout the project, I have a song called This Too Shall Pass, which is about depression.
Wow.
You know, it's
So that's to my friend today.
really,
I literally said that to my friend today.
it's one of my the song.
No, this too shall pass.
That's
a great saying.
It's a great saying. That's why I wrote it. And then also I have a song Ghosts about, you know, I had a mentor that passed away unexpectedly last year. So yeah, it's littered throughout the album of like me trying to decide with music, the more personal you get, ironically, the more general and more people can actually relate to it. Yeah. If you speak too generally, it doesn't really work. But if you speak about something that you're specifically and authentically going through, they'll be surprised with how many people can like associate those feelings with themselves.
So you're very vulnerable in your music, obviously.
I try to be. I try to like obviously keep some things like.
You got to.
Yeah, you know, like some family stuff I don't like to talk about at the moment. And then, yeah, but I think like anything with me is kind of on the table.
Wow.
Because I'm trying to be just, you know, the captain of this team, Alan.
All right, so obviously you love to interact with your fans. So if you don't mind sharing on this podcast, what's something you don't mind sharing with the people that you've been through that, you know, changed your life and made you into the guy you are now?
Gee, I love that. Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, we're getting deep. You know, we're getting deep. Yeah, I'll talk about last year. So I went to therapy. You know, my mom's a therapist.
Oh, nice.
My sister's a therapist. I've been in therapy for a very long time. And I had some stuff happen to me before I went to college, some personal things and some family stuff. And then when I came back and I transferred, I went to the school in the East Coast called Muhlenberg. Now in Allentown, Pennsylvania, I transferred to LA Film School. I found this therapist, his name is Kevin Sosa, and he actually was a musician. So him and I were able to connect with that. And he always would push me to do music. And he was this massive influence on the entire South Bay. Like truly incredible, like would do a lot of stuff that you guys do with like fundraisers and just like stuff for kids. And he had this huge presence and he was my mentor for 8 years. And I started making music full time 3 years ago. And he would always, and like, you know, when you do something as non-linear as music or being an entrepreneur, there's gonna be, you know, ups and downs, and you're gonna have moments of doubt and you're gonna have moments of, you know, weakness, and then you're gonna wanna quit. And he would always steer me. So if I was ever feeling those types of emotions, I could go in there, you know, express how I'm feeling and then go from there. And it was about June last year, and I hadn't seen any traction on TikTok. I'd been posting a lot, and I was like, damn, just kind of like really, really down about everything, and I wanted to quit. And I was like, you know, and I was really close. Oh, wow. Yeah, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna go to Kevin, and he's gonna, you know, tell me to, he's not like a normal therapist, like he'd be like, shut the fuck up, like, you're good. You know what I mean? He'd pick me up. And then I got a call from my mom. And the session before we were supposed to actually be together, we had a show in New York, and we were watching one of the games, and I was, you know, sadly, you know, drinking a little bit. And I was like, hey man, like, can we reschedule? And he was so cool about it. I'm like, hey, can we reschedule? I'm not watching the Laker game right now. He's like, yeah, totally. Like, much love. We'll talk soon. So I missed our last session, and then I got a call from my mom that he passed away.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's a weird feeling because it's like a father almost, you know. I have a father and a stepfather that are incredible, and I look up to both of them so much. But he was like this separate mentor kind of identity, and then when he was gone, I really struggled with it. It was like losing a parent, and then but I got a new therapist, thank God, and he was just like, I think, you know, in times of tragedy, especially with like a therapist, like what's the one thing that you guys focused on the most? Was it, you know, family issues? Was it drugs? Or was it this? I was like, no, it was actually, he would help me with my music. He's like, so don't you kind of owe it to him to see this through?
Wow. So
then I was able to write Time Is On Our Side, and I wrote the album, and literally in like September, October of this year, I started getting traction, and worked out.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's like, RIP to Kevin Sosa. He was incredible. And I owe me really being even a rapper today as GRANDVIEW here to him, like truthfully. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Wow. Yeah,
It's heavy. It's all I'm saying.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So sorry to hear.
No,
that,
it's all good. It's a beautiful story now.
It is. I mean, what a story. So you had an appointment with him, but you couldn't make it. You rescheduled, and then before you could reschedule, obviously. So, wow. So did you feel any guilt, or what? How did you internalize it?
I didn't do the best job with it. I was like angry, because I was like, I was like not like acting out, but like you're kind of like you left me. There's just a feeling of like you're gone, but obviously a lot of guilt. And like the one thing that would kill me the most, I'm like, is like he's not gonna get to see the seed that he planted bloom. So I felt a lot of guilt about that. Like he's not gonna see, because he believed in me. Like I'd always be leaving, and he'd be like, dude, just don't worry. Like it's gonna happen. Just don't worry. Just don't worry. And that's what I always say. Like it's gonna happen. I'm like, how do you know it's gonna happen? He's like, I just know. And that's the one thing. He's not gonna get to see the man that he created. And like I owe, a lot of my intellectual, emotional intelligence to him. Wow. That's what I would say is the biggest feeling.
Do you like, a lot of people say like he may not be here in the physical universe, or maybe a spiritual type of realm. Do you believe in that? Do you feel like you feel his energy going through you when you make this music? Do you feel that?
Yeah, I think he's definitely like looking out for me. And there's, I think in Lost we romanticize some aspects of our life, and I don't think it's a coincidence that like I thought he was doing things for me upstairs with the blessings that I was getting and the fans that I was getting. Oh wow. I thought that he was kind of maneuvering that, and yeah, so I always feel like he's there with me, and like there's those thoughts when I'm like feeling something, I think like what would Kevin say in those situations. So I think that's like the beauty of that mentor kind of relationship with it. I can kind of filter my thoughts through like his reasoning. So yeah, I feel that though. Yeah, like I do believe in energy and just like him looking out.
What are some real specific things you learned from him? Like,
Yeah, I mean like the number one thing is like, and this is some game for everyone in a relationship.
Yeah, let's put us on game.
Yeah, is if you're ever like in an argument or something, or like you're trying to like, not argument, but if you're trying to communicate something, never say the word you. The minute you say the word you, defenses go up. So like, let's say like I'm trying to tell you that what you're saying is making me upset. And I'd be like, hey man, like I would just love like like if someone's communicating with me, if it could just be like really nice. Instead of being like, hey man, like you're talking like you're not being that nice to me right now. It's a different type of interaction. So I've learned, especially in my relationships, my past relationships with my girlfriends and stuff, is just like never say the word you, because it detracts from what you're trying to communicate. Also I'm trying to think of another one that like he really makes me think about. I think it's just like the non-personalization of everyone's actions. Because a lot of times I would be like really upset about how someone's interacting with me when it's like, it's not me, it's them. They're projecting their own emotions onto me. Like if I'm moving through life and someone is looking at what I'm doing and they don't approve of me being a rapper, it's not because of me, they're looking through their own filter. So it's like the non-personalization of people's actions, and we're all just kind of like going through our things. But I would say the word you has been the biggest thing when I'm trying to communicate something.
Aside from achieving your dreams and succeeding in the music industry, what is the best way you feel like you could honor his legacy?
Wow. I think besides music?
Besides music, yeah.
I think it's just like talking about the power of therapy and being really open about it. Like pushing people that might be lost or in need of some guidance to therapy. I think that gets an extremely important value in life that is accessible. Obviously it might be a little expensive, but I think just like promoting the idea of like seeing someone and having those conversations and breaking down some of the patterns, because we all have patterns that become cyclical. And if you're able to actually analyze them and just like, try and break some of those bad habits and, take yourself out of just your usual personalization and just like, emotional outbursts, I would just say like that's it, like just promoting the idea of therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you see it all the time. I mean, I see like BetterHelp.
Yeah, you see so many of those ads.
They're doing big sponsorships with, athletes and stuff. Maybe you can collaborate with them. That's
a good idea.
Story, man. And,
yeah, thank you.
Wow. Oh man. I don't know how do I transition, man.
You're good, man. You're doing an amazing job, by the way.
Thanks, bro. No, you're a great guy, man.
I appreciate that.
Let's keep this going, man. Okay. Wow, no, he got me with that, man. I've done a lot of interviews. I'm like, actually, here, I'll get into this. I was talking to my buddy Brandon, right? The guy who works here. And he showed me the setup, and he's like, "You ever done this before?" I'm like, "An interview?" I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking done this before, but I've never done something like this." And really, like, yeah, I mean, wow, man, that's
it's powerful.
It is very powerful, man. All right, well, let's just stay on the topic then, because I'm going. Me personally,
Are you in therapy?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's what's so important.
I'm really into therapy. I actually do. Here we are, man. Now you're getting me to be.
Yeah, please go.
Energy's contagious, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm actually in EMDR therapy.
What is that?
Is it EDMR or EMDR?
I don't know off the top of my head. What is that?
So it's like a therapy where they use like eye movements to help with trauma and stuff. And it's incredible, and it retracts your memory a lot. So with me too, I'm going through a really tough time where I just lost my stepdad, and with him,
I'm so sorry.
I was, he just passed away, heart attack, right? So with him, somewhat similar to, like, I was supposed to see him soon, and then I just get a call one day that he's gone. And I didn't see him for a while because I was so focused on my career. It was all about my career, and I didn't see family too much, So now when I spoke with my mom and for Father's Day, right, she's like, I'm like, well, should I see you? I know it's going to be a really tough day, but I'm like, you know what? There's anything I've learned from this process, you can never spend too much time with your family.
100%. You'll never regret it.
So yeah.
So how recent was that?
It was 1 year ago on May 30th. So it's been like, 300.
Damn, that's right before Father's Day too.
Yeah. No, it's been a really tough time and got really depressed, man. I put on 90 pounds actually.
Wow.
I put on 90 pounds.
So then, you look great in my opinion.
Thanks, bro. No, Jim knows I need to be looking better. So Jim's my buddy, and he called me out, and so we're getting there. I've lost about right now like 30. See, I went up to 274. When I first met Jim, I was around 183.
Oh wow.
And then, so I got really big, man, because with it, and I guess I'll ask you how you kind of coped with it. Like, I couldn't process it, so I just coped with food.
Yeah.
It became like a food addiction. And so I've never had problems with alcohol or substance or anything, but I've had problems with food, and food is a real addiction. And they have, obviously, they have Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, right? I mean, people know even a little bit about Sex Anonymous, right? But little do you know, there's a thing called Overeaters Anonymous for people that have overeating issues.
Yeah.
Like, it got to the point where just like, I could not stop fucking eating.
Yeah.
Because I was just.
How many meals were you having a day, would you say?
It wasn't even meals, it was just binging.
Got it.
Fuck the meals, it was just junk. Just fucking,
Cause you just wanted to feel that comfort and like just
it's
like
comfort. There you go. It's comfort food. And I just could not process that he was gone, and you're also obviously you're grieving the life, at least physically, but then you're grieving of like what could have been. And him and I had like these aspirations to start our own sports agency together.
Oh wow.
And so he was a professional soccer player. He played in the MLS. And so
really?
He was gonna that was my initial dream, to be a sports agent.
Yeah.
And
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
And then I saw how slimy the business can be, actually, because my grandpa's actually a musician himself.
Really?
And so he's a great guy, and a lot of people tend to mistake kindness for weakness, and my grandpa's a very kind guy, and kind of got taken advantage of by a agent, and I was like, fuck this, I don't want to be in this career.
Yeah.
So then I kind of shifted.
What type of musician was he?
He's a pianist.
Nice.
He was a pianist for David Bowie.
Oh wow, that's
he's the fucking man.
Yeah, literally.
He's the man. Smashing Pumpkins as well.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Quite the lineup.
He has a show this Saturday at the Baked Potato. You know the Baked Potato in Studio City?
Yeah. We used to live right next to there. Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway.
That's so sick.
Yeah. The dream my whole life was to be a sports agent. And then I saw how slimy of the business it could be. And I'm like, fuck it. I don't really want to be in this anymore. And then this was when I went to school to be a sports agent, right? And then I'm like, but I still want to do something in sports. So I'll never forget, man. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try sports reporting and stuff. And so I remember I had a fake microphone, and I went to this really big game at the time, Bronny James, Sierra Canyon.
Yeah, of course.
Then his freshman year, he played at Montgomery High School, which is a school in the South Bay. And it was a big thing. I'm like, there's going to be celebrities there. Let's just see who I can interview. I did it, you know, just for fun, just to see. And I was looking stupid. I was in basketball shorts with like a big ass coat on, not fake microphone. And then I see this one guy is right there, that guy named Mikey Williams.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
you know Mikey Williams, right?
Yeah.
And I see him, and I have my fake microphone. I'm like, hey, Mikey, is it okay if we do an interview? Because I saw him do an interview on the ESPN broadcast. Because he had a game.
You're like, now it's time to go for the big dog.
I'm like, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
That's one thing that my stepdad taught me, right? If you don't ask, you don't get.
100%, yeah.
Closed mouths don't get fed. So I saw Mikey, and I asked him for an interview. At the time, he was the #1 player in the country.
Yeah.
He was projected at that time to be the first overall pick in the draft, right? I mean, that's ambitious, but that's what, you know, he was a hype
Yeah,
like
100%.
crazy back in the day. That guy right there. Yeah, I mean, he actually, that's actually how I first heard of Cali Strong, through Mikey.
Really?
That was the first time I ever kissed. He was repping their brand a lot. Jim and Jen, they worked a lot with Mikey his freshman year when he was here.
Yeah.
So he was my first ever interview. He had over 1 million followers at the time. I'm like, no way, wait, like I can do this? Right? I can just interview anyone. So I got very confident after that. And then the next one, when I was at San Diego State, they had a tournament at the Staples Center. I got media credentials to that. And then the first game was San Diego State. And then the next game was USC versus LSU. And I had credentials, right, at the Staples Center. I guess now at crypto.com. I stayed there because I had the credentials. And then
what year was this?
2019 going into 2020.
Nah, okay, for sure.
And so
Ben Simmons was already gone at LSU. I'm trying to think.
Yeah. But they did have a guy at the time that was a projected top 5 pick, and I think he was number 6 overall. His name was Nyck Caution.
Yeah, he's from Chino Hills?
Yeah, he played on that team.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was a freshman when Lonzo and...
He's on the Hawks right now.
He's on the Hawks. He was a top 10 pick, to number 6. And so then my second ever interview was on the Staples Center court with him, and I'm like, all right, I am meant for this shit. I'm making shit happen. I'm moving needles. And so I really started pursuing it, and now, I mean, I get paid to do it.
That's incredible.
Different companies and whatnot. Actually, it was really big for me. The last few months, I paid all my bills strictly off of my passion of interviewing and broadcasting.
It's amazing, man.
I got it. Thanks, bro.
That's so sick. I mean, I can tell the talent right now. Like, you know, I can really tell. I've done a bunch of interviews, and this is awesome.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, but then, you know, and so being a sports agent was like an afterthought. But then when my stepdad passed away, you know, there's a multitude of things I want to do by honoring him. The first thing that he had issues with alcoholism and drugs. And so he went to AA, and then I went to Al-Anon. You ever heard of Al-Anon before?
No, the top of it.
It's like a 12-step program that is like for family members or friends.
Yeah, okay. I think in The Bear, the people that went, have you ever seen those TV show The Bear?
No.
Something like that, where it's like a family member can go if someone's dealing with something.
Yeah, so that's the best way I can honor him is working. It's an amazing spiritual program.
That's so sick.
It really makes you work on yourself. And so,
Wow.
You know, my 2 things like that I learned in that program are pay it forward and look inward.
Ooh.
Right.
Can you define pay it forward?
Fucking Cali Strong.
Yeah.
I mean, paying it forward, you know, they give, you know, they're a very successful company, and they give a decent amount of percentage back to, you know, people that serve for our country. That's a way of paying it forward.
Love that.
Or buying someone lunch if they listen to your music. That's a way of paying it forward.
Nice, yeah.
So
I'm in there,
many
which is
different
good.
ways. Just giving back and not expecting anything in return. And in that program, one of the traditions is do something for someone today and don't expect anything in return, and don't tell anybody about it.
Yeah, that's tough, because a lot of people want to share their good deed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess now I'm talking about it. But
But like it's different. I asked you.
Right. No, but with this, I mean, I can't even tell you the amount of stuff I've done for homeless people, but I've never filmed it, never posted it.
Yeah.
And you see guys, and you know, I'm not hating on it. At least they're paying it forward in some way, but they have a camera behind it, and they're putting, you know, you see memes about it online of just, you know, cameras in homeless people's faces.
Yeah.
And, you know, at least they're doing something right, but I'm not looking for the clout or the validation.
Yeah.
Although validation is great to have. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
Of course.
But
especially for good deed.
it is, yeah. So that's paying it forward, but also looking inward. And like, I think like everything is my fault no matter what. Like I never play the victim anymore, but I learned that from this program.
Yeah.
That I would not be qualified for if it was not for my stepdad, who had problems with alcohol and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But all in all, right, now I want to get back into being a sports agent on top of being a reporter. I'm not really a reporter, it's a media personality. On top of being a media personality. So yeah, I'm planning on launching my own sports agency to honor my stepdad.
What was your stepdad's name?
Peter.
R.I.P. Peter.
R.I.P. Peter.
I love that it's such a, it seems like there's a happy ending. Obviously from, tragedy, they say tragedy to triumph.
I like that. I've never heard the tragedy of triumph. Yeah. I talk about turning pain into purpose.
Makes sense.
So I'm going to turn my pain now into purpose to honor him in this way. And I mean, I'm going to build a killer agency.
Yeah, 100%. I believe in you, man. It seems like great head on your shoulders, very driven, and definitely a people's person.
Thanks,
so
man.
like that's part of being an agent is
Yes.
connections and relationships and just building authentic, just dialogues with people.
Yeah, we'll see how far I can go being an agent with a really strict moral compass, because in that agency, right, it's not all black and white. I'm sure there are a lot of great agents, but there are a lot of slime balls in this industry.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever seen the movie or TV show Ballers?
Of course.
Yeah, that's like
Manuel.
Yeah, literally.
He actually is the, I don't want to say, and does he own the UFC? Someone, he bought the UFC.
He did, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Character in that show?
Well, that's Entourage.
Oh, shit.
The first,
Good, no, you caught me.
no, you're good.
Okay,
I'm obsessed with
Ballers,
that.
yes, that was with Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Entourage was Ari Emanuel.
Yeah, Ari Gold, yeah.
I'm tripping.
You're good, no, you're good. I was obsessed. I used to watch Entourage in high school, like
I
every
watch
single day.
Ballers. I don't really watch TV anymore.
Really?
The only thing I watch is live sports.
That's fair.
Or I listen to podcasts here and there.
Yeah.
But-
TV's good though right now. It's
Is it really?
have you seen? Yeah, I mean, you haven't. Shogun's really good.
I have.
Three Body Problem. I don't know. My dad and stepdad are obsessed with TV, so I just get fed recommendations. Like he was like, there's this TV show, The Bear. He was like on that show, and now it's like one of the biggest shows on TV. He was ahead of everybody for like a year with that. Monarch is really good. The Godzilla one, I haven't seen that, but they love that. Yeah, I love TV. I think it's like a great. I'm a big Game of Thrones guy. House of the Dragons. House of the Dragons is coming back this week, which is gonna be great. But yeah, the sports. I love sports too. It's always been a massive passion. Did you play them growing up?
Yeah. I played basketball, and it was decent. I could have played like.
I played pro.
I could have played at the lowest level of college and been a walk-on, but I had a good shot, so I can't make that shot right there. But at the Kylie Strong,
Dude, I don't know.
that's awesome. You were doing that for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't make one. I don't think Steph Curry can make that on the first try, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's really fun to come in here and have interactive, activities
Yeah.
when you're purchasing. But yeah, I played soccer growing up, soccer and volleyball. It's different. Like growing up in LA, like I'm from Manhattan Beach. Like it is like Friday Night Lights for indoor volleyball. It's like some of the best.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah. When Maricosta versus Loyola, they have to play it at the college. Play like Loyola
High school
Marymount.
team?
Yeah, because they're two of the best teams in the entire country. Every single person that's on that court's going D1 to Harvard, Princeton, UCSB, UCLA, USC. I was never that good because I'm 5'8", Jewish guy. But
Jewish too.
yeah, let's go. I'm on the top.
One of the tribe. I made a real friend, man.
Yeah.
My sister just had her bat mitzvah. You should have come.
Really?
I can't believe you didn't come. End the interview right now.
I went to my first manager. My manager's wedding was the first Jewish wedding I ever went to, and it was sick. They broke the glass. They did the chair thing, but yeah.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Greg. You're the man.
Are you a bar mitzvah?
I'm not. It's interesting. My dad grew up kosher, like super Jewish. Just grew up very traditional, and I think he just didn't love the way that his parents were so ingratiated with the temple, and he just didn't kind of force us to do it.
Yeah.
And my mom converted before I was born, so I'm technically fully Jewish.
Oh, nice.
So, but no, are you bar mitzvahed?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do it one day,
we can do it here.
honestly, it's so true. Let me read the
Yeah,
Torah.
everyone do a bar mitzvah here, Jim?
Yeah, it's the
All
time.
right, Jim, get the rabbi on the phone and
We'll get the rabbi make the shot.
Yeah, the rabbi.
They're like, today you become a man, you make the shot.
Yeah. So I can call you a mensch. You're definitely a mensch.
I appreciate that.
You
Thank
consider
you.
yourself a mensch?
I would say so. Yeah.
What does mensch entail? What do you have to do to truly? Because that's.
I think you have to give back and look inward.
There you go.
Those are the two things.
There you go.
Yeah. I
Oh,
love
man,
it.
we can go on and on. Before we wrap this up, man, because we went a bunch of different ways. We got very deep. I've never gotten this deep in an interview, but it's just a testament that energy is contagious.
Yeah,
Because-
thank you.
And here we are now, me being vulnerable, talking about my fucking food addiction and my stepdad passing away, and my grandpa getting fucked over. But
I have that ability. I try to do that with people.
it's the Jewish sentiment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fine.
Jews take care of Jews, so now we're gonna probably be in business or something now.
100% sports agency.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What's the dream is to call, because so I go by JD11 Network, right?
Yeah.
And then so with my sports agency, I'm gonna call it JD11 Sports and Entertainment.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm gonna have an entertainment side too.
I love that.
So,
That's dope.
we'll talk.
Hit me up, please. I'm all about
Yes.
entrepreneurship and making it happen.
On the interview, right? Obviously, I kind of control how we end it. I wanted you to kind of control what's the segue out of this awesome fucking interview. But you called the shots.
I want to give a big shout out to the entire Cali Strong team. You guys are truly treating me like family, every single one of you. I'm like truly blown away with just the hospitality and just how authentic and high quality, again, the people, the products, everything are. JD, thank you so much. I feel blessed to be able to call this my job and coming down on a Wednesday and meet people that love what they do, care about the people that are around them, and honestly just give back to the community and the world. So like I had an amazing time. Shout out my team, shout out my producer and DJ Ionius, my manager Greg, my publicist Jackie, my videographers B-Star and Bernard, my engineer Eli, and to all of you guys, just the whole team, photographer Kevin. I feel a lot of just abundance of great energy right now.
Awesome, man. Well, it was an honor. New single, The Autograph, releasing June 21st. And
June
then
21st.
Whenever you want to do an interview, when you go on your promo tours, we'll make it happen. And the next time, I promise you, I'm going to be a lot thinner.
No, 100%. I can't wait, man.
Journey, man. I told Jim I would. We got some big stuff coming up with Cali Strong. Maybe forming a little media network. And Jim's like, hey,
Yo, when I drop the
mix,
mixtape, I'm coming down and I'm gonna see the transformation.
it's going to be big time, man.
Yeah.
All right, brother. God bless
thank you so much, man.
JD11 Network with Cali Strong and Grandview, up and coming artist, man. He's going to make it big. So.